is Firman Irawan. My NPM 19882032020. Everything in its place. 3 contact sets. Language lesson. Have you ever gone grocery shopping without a list? It might seem like a good idea at first, but then you wonder aimlessly. You have some vague idea of what you need and why you need it, but that idea is not concrete or direct. In the end, it's amazing that you end up getting the thing you really wanted or needed. If you do manage to remember them, it's only by chance. That's kind of how it is to learn vocabulary out of context. You can present your student with vocabulary list and grammar exercises, but without any knowledge of why they are. Learning what they learning. These activities feel aimless to some of if you student do acquire knowledge without any contact. It's probably by chance, but setting contact in a language lesson can be tricky. A foreign language classroom, more than almost an other kind of classroom, can feel disconnect from the real life context in which the material being taught will be used. Setting context in a way that feel natural rather than forced can be very challenging. So how can you bring context into your language lesson? What concrete step you can you take to make vocabulary list and grammar concept come to life in an environment which often feel so artificial? Why is context important? First, in case you need and more persuading, here a brief explanation of exactly what context is and why it's so foundational to a great language lesson. Context is simply put the entire reason for learning a language. Without context, the tasks of language learning are nothing more than meaningless ritual. Your students are memorizing lists of what they'll never use. They are acquiring grammar rules for situations that exist only within the cover of a textbook. Essentially, without context, your entire curriculum takes place within an imaginary universe that no one cares about. Context provide of real life situation in which language is used. Setting context allow your student to get a simulation or real life practice. It might not be practical to take them on a trip to experience the target language in person, but you can give them a context that prepare them for the day when they might do just that. Context is the most authentic motivator in the linguist classroom. Sure, you can try giving out praise or motivate your student with good grades and compliment. But the best motivation in intrigue your student want the satisfaction of knowing they can accomplish a challenge and useful task. When language is put in context, it gives students the intrinsic motivation they need. So now that you know teaching language in context is important, how exactly do you do it? How to set context in a language lesson? It's not easy to give a language lesson a meaningful contact in the classroom. In this post will cover some concrete ideas for creating contact-based lesson, but first here are some tricks you can use to introduce contact in a lesson. Build connection. It's one of the five tests of language learning. For a reason, connection are critical to the process of language learning, precisely because they make it easier to set a contact. One way to do this is by connection the subject in the lesson to something in the life of your student. For example, well, watch the royal wedding. Can anyone describe a wedding they've been to? Let's brainstorm some words we use to talk about wedding. You might also make a connection to a TV show or a celebrity that your student enjoy. Another helpful way to avoid connection is by starting with connection, something they already know about their own language. Give me some what they describe the picture. What do these words have in common? They are all adjective. Let's talk about adjective in the target language. Provide example of the real life situation in which the vocabulary was be used. If what vocabulary is on the agenda, begin by talking about what it's like to go to a restaurant in the target country culture. If you're teaching vocabulary about travel, talk about situation your student make encounter at an airport, train station, or hotel. For example, you call so your intermediate French class the fluent to video working at a hotel in Paris, fluent to text real world videos like music videos, movies, trailer, new and inspiring talks, and turn them into a personalized language links learning lesson. All of the videos for each language are categorized by level, format, and topic, so it's easy to find a video that's appropriate to demonstrating real life contact on virtually any subject to any student. Keep the same contact throughout the lesson. It's important to keep your goal in view for the entire duration of the lesson. Switching from one contact to another can be confusing. Provide a variety of activities to practice speaking, reading, writing, and listening to text and conversation that fit within the some context. For example, if you're teaching vocabulary for visiting the doctor's office, you might have students listen to a record conversation between a doctor and a patient. Read an informational article about health care in the target culture and create a skill or a dialogue on the topic to act out for the class. Here are some more ideas to bring contact to life in your classroom. Ready, set contact, 3 context setting for language lesson. Here are some specific example of lesson in which the context is clearly set and remaining clear throughout the lesson. Visit to a restaurant. Begin by talking to the student about a recent visit to a popular restaurant. preferably on the day considered a favorite, to talk about in food they serve, the menu and your interaction with the server. Then move on to describing what a restaurant is like in the target culture. What are some different kind of restaurants that are popular? Cafes, hubs, fast food, edge. What kind of food would they be likely to serve? What are the menus like? Like, if you have access to any sort of reality, such as menus or photos, this can bring life to the discussion. Allow the discussion to move the kind of language you use in a restaurant. What do you what do you say to a server when you order something? How do you ask for more information about an item on the menu? How make you talk about the meal with those at the table with you? Like model some of the vocabulary that make be used in this conversation, asking the class to refer to the word after you when they heard the word a few times. Try giving them a budget to listen to wide relevant vocabulary. For example, did a transcript an exercise from audio are ideal for advanced Spanish student when they had some practice with the word and phrase, and asked them to compose and annex their own creative skill taking place in a restaurant in the target culture. If you have plastic food and authentic table setting, it can add to the sense of overall contact. Slang word and idiom. Begin by asking students to brainstorm word and expression that means something different from their living translation. Running cat and dog, cost an arm and a leg. Wonder the difficult of trying to translate such expression to someone who does know the language. Next, go over a list of common expression in the target language. The nice thing about this is that many of such items of actually quite friendly. For example, the French have the wonderful expression a cute toy the tennis take care of your onion for telling someone to mind his own business. You can find other fun items in various languages on the TED blog list as well as all very different dinner blog or here are just a few examples. French idiom by the soul, the Swiss authentic press word to the wise nine famous Chinese proverb and idiom. The mega list of Chinese color with red idiom and cultural. That's then you can read a passage or act out of funny scan employing as many of this idiom as possible. B. As dramatic as possible with gesture, voice, and even prop and costume the maximum effect. Next, give the student a fill in the blank activity in which they must cause the slang word or expression that make most sense as a completion. Finally, have students write their own sales stories using as many of the slang word and expression as possible, and then share the holiday celebration. This is based on in the tag of holiday your friendly collaboration. For example, if it's close to the answer, you make a connection to the Chinese Canning festival with like Easter. It's a spring holiday with theme of death and rebirth. Present information about the target culture holiday and ask students to create a Venn diagram revealing similarities and difference to the holiday they celebrate in their own culture. In the process, hone in on vocabulary word for talking about the celebration, balance, goes, decoration, etc. Next, give students a simple reading in the target language about the holiday. Finally, ask students to record videos in which they reach the particular holiday celebration using relevant vocabulary. More than anything else, contact will bring limits to life for you, student. So, if nothing else, send to the working. Try putting your lesson in their proper context and see what difference in it can make.
You can't stop the tears from